Welcome to Cinema Gems. I'm your host, Aaron Kramers, and
Well, howdy y'all, I'm Thomas and Arron.
and today's review is the 2011 film directed by Kevin Smith called Red State. What's up with that hat?
What is it, story?
Your hat.
Well, since the movie's set in Texas, I thought I'd wear my cowboy hat for the occasion.
Is that a cowboy hat? You look like you're part of an Amish family.
I don't know, they wouldn't have the feather in the hat thing. I thought that was kind of like John Marston's hat from Red Dead.
Are you living the Amish life or something?
Probably not.
You gonna churn your butter?
I would really hope not, since most of those guys are celibates, I think.
Are you going... Do you get off on seeing the Amish lady's leg?
Well, who doesn't?
Or ankle?
Who doesn't?
It is not your typical Kevin Smith movie.
I was gonna say, I mean, this is like the first Kevin Smith movie we have on this show, and this is like the most least Kevin Smith movie ever made, almost.
No, it's not.
I mean, what's the first thing when you think about Kevin Smith movies?
Vulgar humor,
Vulgar
and lightheartedness.
Lightheartedness, kind of a very film student kind of quality to it a lot of the time. And also, it loves to talk about dark humor and shit like that.
And references to Star Wars and Marvel.
Yeah, pretty much. But this film, I didn't even know it was directed by Kevin Smith until I saw the trailer for it.
Mm-hmm.
Although I will admit, when I did see the trailer for it, I was a bit worried at first.
Yeah.
Because I thought, oh no, it's another Hostel rip-off, isn't it?
Yeah, like...
I was going to be concerned that this was going to be straight up torture porn at first.
Then, once we did watch it, what were your thoughts?
It's not bad. Not bad at all.
Yeah,
I mean, I would agree that this is one of Kevin Smith's better movies nowadays. Because I just saw Tusk recently and I did not like it.
I never seen Tusk yet, and I have no desire of watching Yoga Hosers.
Oh, Jesus Lord, no. But, I'll admit, this film is, well, with Red State, it surprised the hell out of me. I'm surprised with how many character actors they got in it, pretty much.
John Goodman...
Melissa Leo, who just won an Oscar for The Fighter. And, of course, the one and only
Michael Parks.
Actually, interesting fact. Do you know what Kevin Smith said inspired him to make this movie?
From Dusk Till Dawn?
From Dusk Till Dawn, yeah, because he saw that scene with Michael Parks as the sheriff in there, and he said, ever since I saw that, I wanted to work with Michael Parks on something.
Mm-hmm.
And I can see why. He's a charismatic actor. Like, he's really charismatic. Oh, interesting fact also, one of the churchgoers in the church, that's actually Michael Parks' son, actually.
Yeah.
I was thinking, oh my god, it's a family reunion.
One of the kids in the movie, he was in A Nightmare on Elm Street.
I wonder why he looked familiar.
Not just any Nightmare on Elm Street, the Michael Bay produced Nightmare on Elm Street.
Tough break, dude, honestly.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I kind of like him more in this one, though, because we could see him showcase a lot more of his acting skills in this.
Yeah.
I mean, at first he came off as a bit of a smarmy jackass at first.
Mm-hmm.
But then as we get to know him, he actually does legit care about his friends, actually.
Yeah.
And when they get killed, he says, oh, the hell with you guys, I don't give a fuck.
Or like when the woman threatens to shoot him and she asks him for her help. He's like, fuck you. You killed my friends. You don't deserve any help.
Exactly.
Yeah, you know that church that Michael Parks' character is from? You know what was it inspired it?
The only guess I know, the Westboro Baptist Church.
Yes, that's right. The Westboro Baptist Church.
With just a little hint of Charlie Manson and maybe some Jim Jones in there.
I wouldn't...
Or, no, not Jim Jones, what was that? Well, the one in Waco, that was the Branch Davidians, right?
Yeah, I would say that as Emmer Prevost, may he rest in peace, once described this cult, it's like a mixture between the West Baptist Church and the Branch Davidian.
Yeah. I can see that. I mean, although to be fair, it is Texas, they're a little bit gun nut there.
Yeah.
But also, what really inspired Kevin Smith, especially with the Westboro Baptist thing, I think he had a friend of his who made a documentary
called Small Town Gay Bar.
And the director is gay, and he actually interviewed
Fred Phelps.
Fred Phelps, the leader of the Westboro Baptist.
Rotten hell, Fred Phelps.
Mm-hmm. And he said what really got his attention was how kind of calm and collected Fred Phelps seemed throughout the entire interview, kind of.
Mm-hmm.
And as Kevin Smith said, I just wanted to make something about that, pretty much.
Yeah.
And I don't think we need to explain the plot of this because I think it's kind of a very simple plot in a way.
Yeah.
3 kids, they're horny, they go to the online thing and they find this lady. Just so happens she's part of this super religious Christian cult.
Yep.
That just like to kill homosexuals.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it is Texas, they're good weird down there.
Yep.
But besides that, let's also talk about Melissa Leo in this one pretty much.
Oh, yeah.
Well, she was she's really good in this. I mean, really good.
Yeah.
She comes across as, well, I like it how she's able to trick the guys pretty much and all that.
Yep.
I mean, kudos to her. You go, girl.
Yeah.
But then when she finally reveals herself and all that, I was like, oh my god, I'm terrified of this woman now. And particularly what I really liked, the chemistry she had with Michael Parks, actually.
Yes.
Is she supposed to be like his daughter or something like that?
I think so. I don't.
Or is he like a symbolic father figure in a way?
Yeah, probably.
I'm just wondering because it kind of feels like he's able to sort of, when he talks to his followers, he's like talking to them like a normal person in a way, kind of like that.
Yep.
Even though, yes, this guy's kind of crazy also.
Yeah.
And he's also able to convince his followers to do all these horrible stuff also. Like that.
Mm-hmm.
And Melissa Leo, she is a prime example of somebody who's believing all this garbage fed to her pretty much.
Yep.
Like, especially when her husband gets killed, that's when I think she sort of theoretically snaps in a way.
Yeah.
And that's when we get to see that, you know, sort of like her taking all her anger out on all the stuff that she believes is evil.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Actually, what really got me at first is that the first part of the movie I'm not a big fan of, to be honest.
Yeah.
I think the kids are kind of tad irritating, and I don't know, they're a bit annoying a lot of the time.
Then the second half kicked in.
The second half kicked in. I actually felt kind of terrified for these kids, especially that one kid. I forget his name, but I've seen this actor in other stuff, and he's actually pretty good.
Mm-hmm. And there's also a scene with Stephen Root.
Oh yeah, I remember Stephen Root.
When we first see Stephen Root, he has a guy sucking on the root.
Wait, haven't we seen Stephen Root in something else before? I forget what he was in.
Get out.
Wait a second. I think I remember. Let me take a look at this. Sorry, folks, I have to check.
Office Space.
Oh yeah, it's Milton! I wonder why he looked familiar. It's Milton, man.
Yeah.
Surprised he didn't ask to call this. If you get a nice stapler.
Yeah.
Nice stapler, please. I'll burn the church down.
Yeah. And of course, John Goodman.
Yeah,
His acting was so intense that it actually startled Stephen Root.
I was thinking, Stephen Root gets starred by John Goodman? Wait a second. John Goodman yelling at people with guns in the background? Why does that sound familiar? Surprised didn't say this with Coke. You see what happens now? You see what happens? Do you see what happens when you fuck a stranger in the ass?
Yeah. One problem I have with the movie, it's the camera work.
Yeah, it's a bit too shaky. I get the point that Kevin was trying to create a chaotic environment with the gun battles and all that,
Yeah.
which you can do, but
There are shootout scenes in movies where it's done steady.
very steady. I don't like it when action films feel the need that they have to shake everything to hide anything.
It's not a documentary.
Or a Catherine Bigelow film. But also, more importantly, is the gun battle itself, which is very intense, actually, I will know.
Mm-hmm.
Because we know that the FBI is trying to cover the fact that they fucked up, right?
Yeah.
And they need to essentially kill everyone.
Yep.
See, that's what got me with the Waco thing, because I think that idea was still fresh in people's minds.
Yeah, like the Branch Davidian,
You know, so
the ATF issued a search warrant
to David Karush, and it didn't go well at
Yeah.
all. And, well, here's what I also want to bring up with the church itself, with the cult and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Something about them is kind of terrifying on a subjective level, in a way.
What's that?
Well, I haven't been with a lot of, I haven't seen a lot of these things, but I've seen like these ultra-conservative kind of communities.
I was raised by and lived around ultra-conservatives, so I kind of get
With these ultra Christian guys, they bring up the fact that what they're doing is a morally right thing to do.
Yeah.
And it seems like it's just like the way that they spread it to the kids is what really got to me, actually.
Yeah.
It was just really, really fucked up to watch almost.
Mm-hmm.
But thank God for Michael Parks, because he really does sell the part. And I understand why, because like I said, with Michael Parks' character, he has got that sort of charismatic thing that a lot of cult leaders have a lot of time. And it's all about the charm and the personality with Michael Parks, and he really does sell his part.
Mm-hmm.
But let's also get to something that I found kind of interesting about the film.
Yeah.
The ending. Now, not a lot of people know this, but the ending had a lot more of a different ending, actually, to it.
Yes, there was originally... the apocalypse was supposed to happen.
Like, for real.
Yeah.
And there was going to be, like, angels that would come down and kill off both the cultists and the cops.
And not left John Goodman alive.
And when John Goodman looks over a hill, he sees the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse riding over towards him.
And the reason why they would leave him alive, and Count Dracula on his review...
Oh yeah, he brought this up. Yeah.
Because he had doubt.
And he was supposed to witness something sort of bigger than him, kind of.
And witnessing is the theme of the movie.
Exactly. You know, the idea about hiding witnesses or trying to show off something, that kind of thing.
Yes. And in the deleted scene, he witnessed the end of times.
The literal apocalypse. I think I want to talk about the ending. Who were those 2 Asian guys supposed to be, theoretically?
Asian guys?
Agents guys.
Oh, I don't know. I know one of them's that guy from Blade Runner 2049. And The Dark Knight. And Prisoners.
It's like I say, I'm sort of mixed on the ending, but it's okay.
I prefer the apocalyptic ending.
That would have been pretty cool.
Yeah.
This one, it kind of feels like the agents are pretty much just saying, yeah, we're evil, we know it. Show us, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But I like the speech that Goodman at least says at the end, you know?
Yeah.
It seems like a real sincere thing that comes from his heart and all that.
Yeah.
I'm like, God bless you, John Goodman.
Yeah, what is that line? Just so...
Something about, I think he was talking about, these 2 dogs that his grandmother had, right?
Oh yeah.
Now he always noticed that they were the sweetest dogs in the world. But you throw them a bone, they'll fight to the death for it almost. And essentially that's what he's trying to say, like, he doubts that people are able to ever really get along pretty much.
Yeah.
He thinks that essentially we're just old violent animals there to kill each other.
Mm.
And makes you wonder why he spared Michael Parks' life. Maybe he finally sort of believed that, yeah, I do have the right to essentially arrest you pretty much.
Yeah.
I mean, he is doubting all of his orders and all that, but he did what he thought was right in the end, pretty much.
Yeah.
And in the end, I think that's what really matters, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yes, we're going to doubt ourselves, but as long as we're confident that what we're doing is right, maybe that is. But
at least we got Kevin Smith's cameo where...
Oh yeah, he's the guy that tells Michael Parks to shut the fuck up, right?
Yes. His final word to Michael Parks' character and Fred Phelps and anyone who thinks like them.
Shut the fuck up. Or something like that. Actually, I was wondering, if they did go with the apocalypse route, would it be good though? It would make it a bit confusing, perhaps.
It would be polarizing.
But I think maybe they sort of saved themselves because I think it would have been too expensive to film, probably.
Yeah, they had a budget of like, for their VF visual effects, it was like $5,000.
Yeah, so I'd imagine if they did pull it off with the budget they did have, it would have looked probably pretty awful.
Yeah.
Actually. I mean.
Yeah, like the movies about cults really fascinated me, like Apostle, Red State, that one segment in VHS 2, Safe Haven.
Totally, yeah. But this cult in particular, it feels a little more grounded, kind of in a way.
Yes.
Because it is based on some real cults, and it is based on, well, essentially how a lot of these sort of organizations in Texas kind of treat people like that in a way. Because Texas is a bit weird, yo. What can you say? But besides that, before we wrap up, do you have any final thoughts to say?
I would say for Kevin Smith's first non-comedic movie, I was generally surprised. It's not a good movie, but it's not a bad movie, but it surprised me, and it does have rewatchability.
Oh, definitely.
So I would give this a 6.5 out of 10.
Well, like I say, I'm sort of mixed with Kevin Smith at the moment because I think that he is a good filmmaker with his older stuff, but some of his more recent stuff has gotten a lot of flack from critics nowadays.
Yeah, especially yoga hosers.
Yeah, well,
the less we talk about yoga hosers, the better.
And I'm praying that he doesn't mess up with Moose Jaws.
But he's got another one. He's got a new one coming out.
Oh yeah.
Jane Silent Bob's reboot.
Yeah, it's about time they got back together.
Yeah.
But I will admit, with Kevin Smith, this film actually did surprise me. It's not as, say, well...
It's not Clerks or Chasing Amy.
And it's not as, weird or dumb as Tusk or Yoga Hosers or anything.
Or Dogma.
Or Dogma. But I will admit, this film actually did surprise me.
Mm-hmm.
It's got a solid cast with John Goodman and Michael Parks and Melissa Leo. And like I say, at first the kids were a bit annoying for me, but when I got to know them a little better, I kind of liked them a little more. And maybe, yes, they kind of did cop out with the ending, I felt, but it could have been worse.
Mm-hmm.
A lot worse.
Yeah.
Like cop out.
It was a big cop out.
Exactly. But all in all, I'm going to give this film a 7 out of 10.
All right.
Alright.
Oh, good lord, that was an interesting review.
Hell yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Right.
And if you enjoyed that review, then you can hit that like button if you haven't already. Then hit the subscribe button. Follow us. Hit the bell for notifications. And then follow us on our social medias, which your links are in the description below.
And if you want to see any more films like this, you can check out our review of Apostle right here.
Mm-hmm.
And we got some more stuff coming to you guys, so hang on tight.
Yep.
Alright.
Take
See
care.
you later, partner.